We're back with another race in FXR. We're on round 13 of the season now then, the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're getting right into this debut season now then, into the second half, and here is then the qualifying session. Once again, sadly, we didn't have as many people as we'd hoped, so it was just the one qualifying session here then, and this is my best run now then. I did think about going on the mediums here, as you saw there. I did do a lap which put me second, then me and Swish both first and second there then with our initial runs, but Swish went over to soft tyres, so I decided to follow suit here as well then. Now we don't have Pyro this week then because of this incident back in the last race, which you will have seen if you watched that video with the safety car restart. Now he did get that 10-second penalty removed, as you will have seen me mention in that video, but on further reflection, the stewards decided that it was worthy of a penalty, but not a time penalty. But because of previous infractions, I guess earlier in the season, he's now racked up enough of those to actually get a race ban from this race. He had a quali ban at some point, so yeah, this was now the next one up. So no Pyro this week then. So once again, it's looking like a head-to-head battle for pole position, and this time with Psycho Swish. Now, I was thinking here, do I bail out and just start on the mediums? Well, that is what I decided to do, but I did it too late, and I backed out too late, so I ended up second on the grid and on the soft tyres, which, yeah, I wasn't really trying to do there. But I don't think it made a difference, because I was looking at my delta. I think I would have still been just shy. I think I slowed down so late that it didn't actually make a difference to my position, but obviously I wanted to slow down earlier than that so I could still have my medium tyres be the best lap, but I really choked that one so bad. I should have committed earlier to backing out of it, but I just wasn't sure, because I was thinking, could I still get pole position here? But obviously I waited too long and I ended up with neither of the things I wanted, a pole position or the medium tyres at the start. You can see why I wanted the mediums then, because of how quickly the soft tyres were out here. That's why I wanted those to start with, but still I think we can do something with the soft tyres here then. It does say that one stop's possible. We're on the same tyres of course as Psycho Swish. It's going to be a straight fight here then by the looks of things, unless one of us decides to do something different on strategy here. But we're coming now then to the grid. We'll see if anyone else can challenge as well. There's quite a big gap in qualifying, but we'll see if anyone else has race pace then to be able to challenge as well then in the race itself. We line up now then on the grid, and the lights are coming on, and we are away then, and well, it's Ched then that goes flying through into the lead, but as you can see, drive-through penalty for him. That was very much a jump start there then, as we actually quite early on the brakes there. Volt had a look at us into turn one, also get to go on the outside there, but we managed to still make it through the first corner then ahead of the two of them. But yeah, Ched's then obviously a bit of a mistake from him there, but nonetheless he leads the race then at the start here then ahead of Psycho Swish, and then we're now down to third place. So yeah, that's saying not the start any of us were expecting, I guess. But what is interesting is that of course Ched's then a bit slower, so he's sort of slowing up the pace a bit at the front at the moment, so that's allowing us to be able to stick with Swish a bit better than maybe we would have done if he'd had clear air out in front of him there. As we see a replay then, and yeah, very much a jump start there then from the McLaren. And yeah, other than that though, it was sort of most people staying in order there by things towards turn one, but then we were quite early on the brakes, but thankfully we just maintained a good line through the first corner, got a good exit, and we were able to hold our position there then and stay third. Ched's then, I wasn't sure if maybe he would try and stay out a bit longer, but he decided to just get rid of that drive-through penalty straight away then, and yeah, that's unlucky for him then, I guess, because that was obviously going to hamper his race quite early on, as we did get a good run here down the pit straight looking at Psycho Swish, but we couldn't make the move stick there then towards turn one, but certainly got a good run there. On to lap 5, where we are still within DRS range just about then, but still haven't managed to find a way past the Ferrari driver there then, as we head out then onto the pit straight. And this is where the problem was for me really. I just could not get a good run out of this final corner. I think maybe just a bit of a combination of dirty air there following the other car through the that corner there, quite a long sort of like relatively quick corner there, sort of medium-ish speed, and yeah, it's quite hard to fight through there. We just weren't getting close enough, even though we were gaining quite a lot on the straights there, and you see once again towards turn 2, but yeah, just not quite close enough, and we didn't quite have the confidence there on the brakes to be able to make the move stick. As we now skip to our pit-in lap, which is lap 7, and obviously the plan was to go for a hard, but I was thinking at this point, maybe try and roll the dice here, just go full out attack, go for a 2-stop, go for the undercut if he doesn't pit here. But the problem was, behind us we still hadn't had a pit stop gap, so I chickened out of it at the last second. I was going to commit to it, but I couldn't go through with it. I was thinking I could just blow my whole race if I don't jump him in the pits, because I get held up by people, but still, that may well have been a good decision there, because as you can see, you know, we certainly held the pace. Like, we're 16 seconds clear after only 7 laps of racing, so it may well have actually not been a bad idea there, because we probably could have cleared any cars that we were behind quite quickly. Nonetheless, so we didn't take that chance, and well, Psycho Swish decided that he was going to pit on the next lap, so yeah, I missed out on my chance to be able to do that. So we're just going to have to well, go back to what our initial plan is, but obviously running a little bit longer on the soft tyres now then, and yeah, hoping that the hard tyres will still be in good condition at the end of the race. And you can see Swish has gone over to medium, so that seems to lock him into a 2-stop there. So yeah, we need to just really hope that we can maintain good tyre wear now. As at the end of this lap, we are now going to pit then from the lead the race then, and do what we were initially going to do then, which is go over to the hard tyres. So it's going to be certainly very tough for us at the end of this race then, if everything plays out as normal here, because I would be very surprised if Swish could take medium tyres there 27 laps to the end of the race. So I was almost certain at this point that he was going to be pitting again, so it really was just a case of hoping that I could maintain these tyres, keep some decent pace, and hope that when he comes back to me again later on that I am able to hold him off, really, as we do actually rejoin behind someone then, and we got Jake on the mediums then, so he's going to be staying out a bit longer, so hopefully we don't encounter any issues there. And in fact, by the end of the lap we had actually caught up to him, as obviously he's on much older tyres than us, and as we've seen, me and Swish have been quite a lot quicker than everyone else then so far this weekend. He seemed to just let me go there. I guess maybe he just wanted DRS there because he didn't pit, so I can only think that maybe he just wanted the DRS there and didn't want to waste any time getting into any kind of battle. But yeah, for the rest of the stint then, well, for these next few laps is just Swish building up the gap then. He's got a 5.8 second lead, so he's still going to have some work to do when he pits, but yeah, it's still looking pretty good from at stage then. Or is it? Because there's yellow flags out. He's spun off there, he's recovered. We weren't really sure where to go there. I backed off a bit because I wasn't sure which way he was going to go, but he sort of just stayed in the middle of the track, so I sort of squeezed around the outside, and we're up then into the lead of the race. That has really turned things on its head, as we see then the replay, and yep, Swish recovering. I really did not want to take any chances there of having an incident, so I was nice and cautious, just made sure to keep on the track and yeah, get the lead off of him. And yeah, that has really turned things on his head then, because, well, we're not planning on pitting again, and I can only assume that Psycho Swish is, and I mean, certainly now, I mean, if it's going to be tough to hold on to mediums to the end, then it's going to be even harder now that he's just lit them up there then with that spin, as he's now back in DRS range. And well, even though he's had that spin, it may still be quite hard to hold him off here then. He's running outside into turn 1, he's later on the brakes, and he's right running outside. We bang wheels there slightly. He's going to have DRS again then towards turn 2 to be able to extend that gap a bit. We could have maybe thought about doing a bit of a switch there and looking to the inside, but I think that would have been quite a risk there, and I think we're still in a much better position than we were a lap ago now, thanks to that spin. That's certainly, well, it's cost him about 6 seconds there, maybe even a bit more, as we see then once again a replay of that battle into turn 1. And there has been enough of this between us this season, but yeah, finally some good wheel-to-wheel action there then into the first corner. In fact, he actually loses it a bit there through the chicane there. Not the best line, but I guess just there isn't really many places to pass in this middle part of the lap, so yeah, we're just going to have to tuck in behind him for the time being. And a couple of laps later then, he hadn't managed to build out that gap, so I think the medium tyres really just starting to go off now. He's got to be getting close to any pits, and in fact he nearly loses the rear there coming through the penultimate corner, so this is our chance now then, maybe with DRS to finally get one back over him then and be able to get the position. But once again, I just don't think we're getting enough of a drive there. Maybe we don't have the straight line speed maybe that he has, maybe a bit of a difference in setup there, but nonetheless then he manages to hold on to the position. But still, I think we're looking pretty good at this stage, considering, I mean, 13 and well, about 13 and a half laps to go, and he still has to pit again then in this race, I would assume. If not, then he's going to be taking some very second-hand tyres to the end of the race. And we see now then Kev for some reason just not moving over for us here, so this is just back in Swish up even more here. This really is not what he needs at all as we round the final corner. Could this be our chance? Well, no, it's not. The safety car is out, so well, that's certainly given Swish his chance then to make that pit stop now then. We're going to have to probably come in as well, because of course there's no chance that we're going to be able to hold him off then on these medium tyres if he's going to just pit now then for fresh softs or mediums. I decided at the last second that mediums would be the way to go. I was thinking Swish maybe would go for it on the softs, go a bit more aggressive there and try and pull away. I was thinking, you know, we probably have about 9 or 10 laps of green flag racing, and maybe the mediums over that distance may be slightly better, because obviously softs wear out quite quickly here. That is indeed what happens then. He goes for softs, we go for mediums, and now it's just, well, a waiting game really to see firstly how long the safety car lasts, and secondly how long will the soft tyres last compared to the mediums. So it's really going to be a very interesting final 10 laps or so here. And the safety car only stays out for one more lap then before coming in at the end of lap 25, so we're going to have 10 laps here then to the end of yeah, well, I guess flat out racing pretty much. Then we can, I'd say, easily push these mediums to the end. It might be a bit harder for Swish. He's going to have to try and bolt as quickly as he can here and hope that the soft tyres will hold on to the end, as we are back underway now then. Swish leading the field then with us close behind here, and towards turn 1 we've got a good run once again, but we're just not going to be anywhere near enough to have a run on the brakes here, so we're just going to have to follow behind. And again, as I was saying, we're just going to have to play a waiting game here then to see if those tyres do indeed go off here, because yeah, the mediums should last longer, but yeah, he's going to have some very good pace early on here then on the soft tyres. And you can see then he has built that gap up to about 1.5 seconds then, near enough after only a couple of laps, so we're just going to have to try and hang it in here then, just hang in there and hope that we come back to him then in a couple more laps. That is indeed what happens then. Only a couple of laps later then, we've got 4 laps to go at the end of this one, and we're just about closing in again then to within the RS range here, and we just about got it there then, approaching the final corner. So that is absolutely crucial now then, and we can finally start to reel him back in then. It's looking like the crossover may just be starting to happen here then between the softs being quicker and the mediums being quicker. So yeah, it's really going to be all down to these final 4 laps now then. We're probably going to have 3 chances then towards turn 1. We've got 3 more chances then down that straight, so that's probably going to be our best chance of passing him. But it's just going to be a case of if we can get close enough, if we can get some good drive on these medium tyres compared to the soft tyres. As we approach now then turn 4, and in fact he's left the rear tyres there, he's into the wall, and Psycho Swish is out of the race then. We move up into the lead. A huge moment there in the race, and wow, that is not how I was expecting this to end. It's not how I wanted it to end, to be completely honest. I wanted it to be, you know, a good fight all the way to the end, but obviously this is very good for us then. We're looking good now then to win this race because of that mistake for Swish then. And in fact there is still more twists to come then in this race because the safety car is out again. Now I was looking at that gap, I was thinking with a safety car 16 seconds we can probably get in and out again. I don't want to risk someone bolting on some soft tyres and coming at me with a couple of laps to go. I'm going to pit here for soft tyres to preserve my lead then at the front, because I've got a good gap here. So that is what we're going to do. It was very much an in moment there then, as you saw going into the pit lane. We actually did come in though, but we're onto the soft tyres then. Now then, how close is this going to be? We've got Getziger coming down the pit straight here, and Getziger has taken the lead. He's got a 3-second penalty, but Korg is going to go through, and so's Jake. We're down to 4th place, and from in and in and in, it's gone to, I've lost this race, haven't I? So we've just got to hope now that this safety car comes in as quickly as possible, doesn't go to the end, so that we can actually recover these positions. Obviously we only need to make up 2 of them because Getziger has a penalty, but still, have we thrown this all away when we had it in the bag? Literally seconds after we'd had it handed to us there. And well, we'll have to see now then. The safety car is going to come in then with only 2 laps of racing to go. We're just going to have to go for it here then with both Jake and Korg and hope that Getziger doesn't pull away. We're in the process of doing that. We're back to green flag. We're going straight on the attack here then. We're going to have Jake here before we reach turn 1 up the inside, and we are through. And in fact there's an instant that happened right there that took Jake out, so it was a good job we actually got that move done. We're right on the back now then of Korg, so it's between me and him now then for the race win here, unless Getziger can build out a gap. And in fact, well, Korg was lagging quite a bit there. I had to back out of it, and I'm just being very cautious here. So I mean, you never know, Getziger could pull out a gap here then whilst I'm being cautious here, making sure that me and Korg don't have a collision. So it's going to be, yeah, we've got to try and pick this moment just right then, and you know, not take any kind of stupid risk. We're not going to have DRS of course, because you know, we haven't had 2 laps since the safety car came in, so this is just going to have to be about who can get the best drive out of the corner, who has the better straight line speed, and who can brake later then. As down the pit straight on the final lap of the race, this is to decide the race win. We're up the inside into turn 1, we have just about, looks like, taken 2nd place, which will of course become 1st because we're only 6/10 of a second behind Getziger, who has a 3-second penalty. And we certainly did not make this easy for ourselves at all here. We bottled it, our strategy in qualifying. We bottled the alternate strategy early on in the race. We potentially bottled it after the first safety car. We then got handed it. We then bottled the lead with the second safety car. And now finally it looks like we are going to somehow recover the victory here, which in all honesty we probably don't deserve with all the mistakes we made here. But nonetheless then Getziger had those penalties, so we win the Hungarian Grand Prix after an absolutely crazy race there. And well, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that one. It was just a bit of a ridiculous one. I mean, it could have been a really fantastic fight all the way to the end there with Psycho Swish, but sadly he had that crash, which ended things prematurely, although obviously we're only a few laps from the end, but still it was going to be a grandstand finish there, and sadly we didn't quite get to see how it played out. There's the final results then. We take the win by 1.5 seconds in the end from Korg. Getziger cross line then in the lead for the first time this season, but it's only going to be 3rd place for him then because of that penalty. Jake in 4th and Volt in 5th place then. Psycho Swish then still actually classified in 10th place there, then 4 laps down, so I think he just about made it through the 90% barrier there then. And in the championship standings, the one I've actually got here says 120 points, but I'm not entirely sure if that's correct because, as I said, Swish was classified in 10th, so I do believe that with 10th place scoring 3 points in this league that he should actually have a couple more points there. He got the point for fastest lap, but I think he maybe should have a few more after that as well, so I think it's not quite that high, but I will obviously double check before this goes out, so they may well be corrected by the time you're seeing this. But yeah, I think he is maybe meant to be 141, but I've got 138 here. Anyway, I'm not sure, but nonetheless we've still got a pretty big lead, and in the constructors we are still managing to lead the way as well then by just under 50 points there. So yeah, a pretty bonkers race. We'll see what happens next time then. We've got the Belgian Grand Prix coming up next, and I hope to see you for that one.